July 2020. And we're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by Mr. Tarek Sherif, member of the Federation of Tourist Chambers. A very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you and everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us now. How do you see the balance that the government is trying to work between receiving tourists and preserving their safety and health during their stay in Egypt, and the conditions and precautions for the prevention of the further spread of the coronavirus inside Egypt?
Well, I must say the government is doing enormous efforts here, and they are not sparing any efforts to try to secure both the business and keeping the balance between keeping the economy going and the safety of the population. They have set a lot of measures. They have made a lot of warning and a lot of pointing, asking people to take precautions. Now it seems that it has reached a point where government had to interfere and start regulating a little bit the timing where people are out in the streets, especially coming into Eid. Egyptians are very warm, and we like to be out with the families, especially in the last 10 days of Eid, of Ramadan going into Eid. So I think it is timely done. Personally, I think it should have been earlier, but I'm sure the government has their own vision on that. But no doubt they are trying to keep the balance, and,
Yes.
and it's very difficult to do so.
Indeed. Egypt is one of the few countries that has actually maintained the reception of tourists from all around the world, with the latest being Russian tourism. To what is the value of this? What does it mean for the Egyptian economy, alongside their efforts of preserving the further rise of the coronavirus infections?
Yeah, well, of course, I mean, it's no secret, and it's no secret information that tourism is one of the backbone of the Egyptian economy after the Suez Canal. And so keeping the tourism coming in is something that we have to look at. The great decisions or the final agreement that has been reached with the Russian part of resuming the flights back to Cairo in all airports,
Yes.
being regular and charter flights, of course, that will give a boost to the tourism sector and consequently will give a big boost to the Egyptian economy.
Yes.
However, tourism is always related to safety and security as well. So all the measures that the government is taking now to keep the safety of the population and the safety of tourism, of tourists, by taking the precautions and the measures and the vaccine against COVID-19
Yes.
is all in line with trying to bring back the economy. The Russians will always want to come to Egypt. I mean, Egypt is a hot destination, especially in this particular market. And I'm sure that once the flight schedule is announced, there will be more booking and flights carrying more Russians coming in. And we're sending the message out that we are safe and secure as much as we can.
Yes, absolutely right. Mr. Tarek, also a recent announcement by the Ministry of Health today that tourists coming from countries with the variants of the COVID virus will also have to undertake a quick test at the airport. How important is this step to further preserve the situation and limit the spread of the virus inside Egypt?
Well, I think we have all the rights, like any other country, to control those who are coming into the country. And it is now that we are asking them to take that test at the airport when they arrive. And that is much better than, prohibiting them from flying. We still want them to come in, but they have to come in our terms and conditions when it comes to health and safety.
Yes.
So we are not really, with all my due respect, I don't think we should be welcoming people carrying that variation, like the Indian variation of that virus. So that would be a disaster if we would allow that to come in. So we have all the right to reserve and control our borders, make sure that tourists coming into our country are also healthy, as much as we are trying to stay healthy here.
Absolutely. And finally, sir, what is your evaluation of Egypt's tourism over the 3 waves of the COVID-19 virus that we have, witnessed inside Egypt?
Well, no doubt that we have suffered a lot. all people working in the hospitality sector, starting from hotel owners all the way down to the drivers or people related to tourism business. I think we have survived it somehow. However, there has been some damage to that sector. The good thing is that has boosted the Egyptian internal tourism. Egyptians pushed more into traveling into the touristic destination. That has helped a little bit to preserve and keep some money going on into the pocket of the tourism business. However, of course, there has been some damage. But we always say that tourism in Egypt may get sick, but it never dies.
Absolutely right. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Mr. Tarek Sherif, member of the Federation of Tourist Chambers in Egypt. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and insight. And another short break, and we'll be right back to continue this edition of Cairo Local Time, so stay tuned.